Hi everybody, welcome back to the propagation station. So today we're going to be talking about geophytes. Geophytes are plants with underground storage structures, and we actually use them in cooking a lot. And there's different ways you can propagate them, so you can have an infinite supply of your onions, garlic, carrots, ginger, stuff like that. So today I'm going to be talking about garlic, ginger, and onions. So first what we're going to be doing is propagating our garlic. So garlic is a tunicate bulb. It's tunicate because it's got this little papery part on the outside, and we're going to be propagating them from the cloves. So you just pull your cloves out of your big garlic here and separate them, and they're all going to grow into separate plants. So what you're going to do is you've got a bottom part and a top part. The bottom part is this little, it's called the basal plate. It's where the roots will come from. It's kind of dried out, and you can see it was from the bottom here. So that's what's going to be sticking down, and you're going to plant them about 4 to 6 inches apart in here. Just put them like that. You don't even need to take off the papery part. You can just stick them in there, and they require a vernalization period, so that's why we're planting them in the fall here in upstate New York. So they will be all cozy here during the winter, and then by the time the spring comes around, they will start to sprout. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about onions, which are another kind of tunicate bulb that you can find in your kitchen. So I'm going to be doing a couple different types of propagation methods for these. Firstly, the easiest one is your green onions here. The green onions are actually underdeveloped bulbs, but they can grow into larger onions if you let them. So these have been pretty gross. They've been in the fridge for too long, so we don't want to eat these. But what we can do is tear off these dead leaves, and we can cut off the tops. Let's do it like here, and put them in a glass of water, and they should come back. Okay, so I just did that with all 3 of them, and they're gonna be in this jar here. I'm gonna put them on the windowsill, and they should grow more green onions for us to harvest. So the next one that we're gonna do is by cutting the bottom part off. So it's this basal plate here where the roots come out. We'll be cutting that off, and then you can use the rest of your onion for cooking. So it's pretty efficient, because what you can do is use the majority of your onion for food. So you have all of this, and then you take this part, you take off the skin here, just like that, and then you'll rest it in a cup. And this won't grow into a whole big bulb like this, unfortunately, because this is going to be like the second season of the onion once you do this. So what'll end up happening is it will create tiny mini green bulbs in there, and you can use them for green onions like these. You can wait for them to flower, or if you wait long enough, they'll make kind of smaller bulbs that you can use for cooking, but they won't get as big as this. But if you wait for them to make seeds, you can harvest the seeds and then use those to make big bulbs. So I actually transferred it to this container because it gets the water on the bottom without flooding the whole thing. And you're gonna wanna check on this and change the water out periodically, because what we don't want is for this purple part to rot. It'll get kind of mushy, but what you want is for this white part in the center to bring out some green sprouts coming up, and then this eventually will start to get mushy, and you can peel it off and plant it in dirt. So the last method I'm gonna be trying is trying to excavate the little like mini bulb in the center where the sprouts and roots actually come from. So I'm going to be cutting off sections of this onion to try to get to the middle piece in there. Got the outside. Okay, so I'm crying a little bit from cutting onions, but basically what I've done is excavated the center piece here. Thank you for that zoom. So you can see there's kind of a little bit of green, so it's already kind of growing inside of there, and that's what we want. So it's the same concept as this one, except there's more for the plant itself to work with. It has more of that growing point of the tissue in there. So it should grow a little faster and have a higher success rate, I'm guessing, than this method, because this only has this small circle of tissue to grow from, whereas this has the whole centerpiece. And we still have this much onion to work with for cooking. So I did end up taking a few more layers off the outside, and I just wanted to show you. It looks really cute. It's like a little onion baby that's gonna be growing. And okay, so now we're gonna be propagating ginger. Ginger, even though we call it a root, it's actually an underground stem called a rhizome, and we're going to be propagating it by division. It has these eyes on it, kind of like potatoes, and that's the growth points where there's going to be roots and shoots coming off. So we're going to cut little chunks off of it, a couple inches long, that will have the eyes on it. So each chunk should have a couple eyes. Harder than I thought it would be. So we got some chunks off of there. And then next we wait. It's got a kind of scab over, so you can see this end here that already had been cut a long time ago is all scabbed, and this one's very fresh. So we're just gonna leave them sitting out for a day or so until they're all scabbed over and healed before we plant them in dirt, and this will kind of just prevent pathogens from getting in there, so it's healed before we do that. Okay, so we let them dry out overnight, and now they've got scabs on all the places we cut. And now what we're gonna do is plant them in soil with the bud parts facing upward. So we're gonna locate the buds and plant them, make them all cozy. And lastly, we've got this one. So we're gonna leave them like this, and we're gonna water them in really well. They need a lot of moisture to grow. So make sure to keep them well watered, and misting can help them as well. And they do take a while. So to get a full grown ginger plant in your house from doing this, it should take about 8 to 10 months. So I just wanted to update you guys on the onions. So I last did the cuttings on Saturdays when we started growing them. It's now Thursday. Happy Thanksgiving. So here's what they look like. The ones that are the most successful are the green onions. They've been growing a lot. If you remember, they were just the white parts before, and now all of this green part has come out. So that happened really quickly. So this is a really cool method to grow your own green onions at home, and it works really well. Second best is our onion center here. It is growing out. It's got a little green poking out, so it's going slowly, but it is growing. It didn't have that originally. Next, we have the onion base that we cut off here. This one hasn't grown yet. I actually think I should have cut more of the onion base off, and that this was too thin of a piece. So if you want to do this at home, I recommend cutting off more of the onion than I did. So that's the update. The garlic and ginger are planted, and they're going to take a while to grow. So that's all the updates I have today, and thank you so much for watching.